This is the reason right here. This place right here is the reason I carry myself the way I do. This is the reason right here that I'm very motivated on having a better life, not only for me, but for the family members and some of my friends who was in this situation with me. Now, they wasn't living with my family in this situation, but they was a part of the journey. They helped me through a lot of rough things. Now, we lost our home. My mom and dad wasn't able to afford to pay for it anymore. And some of these things I learned in life is do not live outside of your means. And on top of that, if you're with somebody, you should be with somebody who's moving in the same direction as you. If your goal is to start up a business, a company, you need to be with a guy, you need to be with a girl who is looking to do the same thing, or if not, just help you along the way, or to properly support you. Sometimes the decisions of mom and dad affect the kids. Why does that happen? Because if mom and dad isn't on the same page, if mom and dad not on the same page as far as like the direction they want to go with their life, it's going to affect any and everybody around you. And sometimes I believe the result of lack of communication, the result of not being on the same page. You got to be on the same page. You have to be a team. It caused us to get here. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs, but honestly, with teamwork, and I've seen it on multiple levels, in business, when I'm playing sports, when I'm working at home, when I'm working at my job, teamwork helps push the goals. Teamwork helps push things further. So this is where we were. 5 of us, me, my brother, sister, my mom, and dad, living in the in-town suite. Then Hurricane Katrina had hit, and my grandfather and my uncle also moved in. So for those of you who've never been inside of one of these in-town suites, there are some people who stay here time to time, like on business expenses, business trips, things like that. They don't stay that long. Then you got families who stay here because it's the only place they can afford to live. But inside this one bedroom, it's not even a room. It's a bed next to a sink, next to a bathroom. And oftentimes, like in the house, we would have like this little list on who sits where. We would swap it out. Like some nights I would be on the floor, some nights I would be on the couch, some nights I would be on the bed. I don't know, it's like this certain feeling that you get along the way in life where you start losing your sense of direction. You start losing like hope. You start losing that belief. Like if you in something long enough without a clear direction or clear vision, I honestly believe that you can lose yourself. Now, I don't know what my mother and father went through in their life to get to this point, but this can be anybody. You have to always remain humble, but you have to always remember where you came from. Because we went from living in a nice home to living here within a matter of weeks. And we stayed here for 2 years. Prior to this, before we lost the home, we was living in that house with no power. Living in the house with no power. It's kind of what caused me to get into playing basketball. Kind of the reason that got me to go start going to the gym early in the morning. Besides having to take showers, I said I might as well learn something. So my whole goal, my whole vision and dream of wanting to go play NBA basketball, play professional basketball, I felt that was the way to get some money to be able to take care of my family. Now, there's so many different things that I can explain as far as like the mental aspect of everything, because it was hard getting off the school bus and coming here. There were girls who wouldn't even talk to me. Pretty much any girl was wearing knockoff clothes. Like, people say that stuff doesn't matter, but you got to understand, as a kid in middle school, as a kid in high school, you know, certain things matter to some of us kids when you got the whole environment, the whole community telling you what it is. You have to really know yourself and understand yourself. And here at this point in my life, I was 15, 16, 17 years old living here. I didn't understand who I was. And then on top of that, because mom and dad had to work a lot, they didn't have the time to sit with us and have a structured family and everything. So the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm trying to understand is that I remember sitting out here with my father in his work van, and we had a real heart-to-heart. It got real emotional, real frustrating, a lot of anger, sadness, tears, everything in this conversation. And it all came from me. I was like kind of upset and on asking him, like I was upset asking him, why the hell are we here? Why are we in this situation? Now, the things that I didn't understand is Pops was trying. Pops was doing the best he could. And these are the things you learn later as you become an adult, as you grow, you'll begin to understand and realize that, hey, some of the things that I'm experiencing, some of the things that I'm going through, are similar to what my parents were going through. And it make you soften up, make you understand and realize that, one, as a kid, as a teen, you might have been too harsh because you only see things one way. And that's your way most of the time. But as you grow and as you expand, I'm telling you, the thing that opened my eyes up, I took a trip across the country. I got on a Greyhound. I drove through Memphis. I drove through Louisville. I drove through pieces of Texas. I drove through parts of Illinois. You begin to see out here in this world that, one, your situation is always better than someone else's. Two, your situation is similar as many other people. So me driving and passing through these other parts of the country, I'm starting to realize there are people who live just like you. There are people who experience the same things in life as you. So what I learned is to get up off your behind and go hustle. Get up off your behind and go work hard for the things that you want, until you can add those pieces in your life that can help push you towards that. Some things I'm learning here. I've learned to shoot these YouTube videos to kind of, I honestly feel like the people that I'm trying to help are the kids in high school that was my age, going through similar things, not knowing who they were, needing a sense of direction, needing guidance, trying to find someone that they can relate to. I had nobody to relate to. I had a friend who I was cool with at the time. We are no longer cool. At the time, things seemed cool, but sometimes people that are in your life make your life harder. That's why you need to get around people who kind of understand where you're going. I had two other friends. They went off to college. So, like, while they was in college, I really didn't have it's not necessarily about having anything, to be honest, because my friends were going through similar problems in their households or in the communities where they were from. But this is a little piece of where I grew up. I honestly would start shooting more of these videos explaining different places I grew up. I bounced around a lot. We bounced from home to home, sharing rooms and stuff with our aunts, uncles, my cousins. I lived with my grandmother at one point. Like, life gets hard, but sometimes we make life harder on us. What are the things you should be doing to avoid a situation like this? Using your money wisely, using your time wisely, investing into relationships that benefit the situation, that benefit you, that support your mental. When we was here, You can't see the future. You might not think that you're going to ever come out of situations like this. But what if you never had to go to a situation like this? There are people on this planet who never will have to experience certain lifestyles or certain environments, certain communities similar to this. Now, this is not a bad area where I was staying. It's more so what goes on inside those rooms when you don't have your own space, when you have clutter, when you have trash bags and milk crates full of clothes all the way stacked up to the ceiling. Those are the things. Things I should have been doing, things that my family should have been doing, that should have been taking money from time to time and investing it. Putting it towards your future so that something can help you later on. But you also must remember that if you don't do the right things in your life, you can end up back in situations where you once was. That's if you messing with a girl, that's if you messing with a guy, that's if you have the wrong group of friends around you. All these things matter. Place yourself around like-minded people so you can thrive, so you can succeed, so you can prosper. Nobody wants to be here, but if you are here, if you get low to a point like this, that's when you must begin to write. That's when you must begin to figure out who you are and start finding a direction for yourself. Once you find that direction for yourself, you begin to clean up some of your things of your past. You begin to understand yourself better. And once you understand yourself better, no matter what circumstance, situation, or like thing that you're involved in, you can come out of it though. Like, you really can come out of it. Who knows how long it'll take, but you will come out of it. Can't even remember where we stayed at, but we stayed on the second floor. We stayed in one of these doors up there. As a man, you gotta provide. My father did the best he could. It's kind of the reason I don't want kids. It was rough in here. So kids in this room, all different ages, everybody don't understand and process things the same. You might have brothers and sisters who went through a situation and then they came out of it with the family, and now, you know, you're in a nicer community. And on the other hand, you might have been the youngest or the oldest of your family who never had to go through the rough part of your life, and then you went into it. It's a different feeling when you start off in certain situations, then you go up, then come back down. You know how to go back up. And then there are some people, like, they're up on a certain level. When they go down, they can't process it. They don't know how and why that would happen. Like, it's different things out here. But this is one of the places where I used to live. I'll be shooting more videos of different places I grew up, different places I lived. You gotta count your blessings though, for sure. Count your blessings.